Global happenings today. We communicate. We analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello, great people. Welcome back to Global Happenings. Today, something very interesting is happening in the judiciary, and this time around, it is between a professor of law and the CJN Kekere Ekun. Don't forget that fairly recently, Sanwo-Olu, who is having some issues with the Supreme Court, had to organize a grand reception for the current CJN, and it was talk of the town. It didn't go well with so many legal luminaries, considering the fact that there is a lot going on, and the issue of impartiality is at stake right now based on all of that. Now, the professor of law decided to drag out the CJN, and despite the fact that people castigated him for doing that, he took out time to talk about the provision in the Judicial Code of Conduct, especially Section 1.1. I'm going to allow you hear full details of what he said in a jiffy. Law professor and former National Human Rights Commission chairman Chidi Odinkalu recently voices worry on his official X page. He was worried about Kudirat Kekere Ekun, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, attending a dinner that Babajide Sanwo-Olu, the governor of Lagos State, had thrown. Odinkalu raised concern about possible conflict of interest and questioned the morality of the CJN's attendance of the function. Governor Sanwo-Olu had posted pictures from the event on his Instagram saying, during a dinner honoring Justice Kudirat Motomori Olatukumbo Kekere Ekun, GCON, Chief Justice of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, we celebrated her significant contribution as a proud daughter of Lagos and a pioneering figure in Nigeria's judiciary. As the second woman ever to hold the position of Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Kekere Ekun embodies a source of pride that every Lagosian. Her exemplary leadership serves as a guiding light for women and young girls across Nigeria, demonstrating that excellence transcends gender. We take great pride in our city. I'll take that again. We take great pride in our city's ability to nurture some of the most outstanding legal talent, both among practitioners and judges. Reacting, Professor Odinkalu noted that Governor Sanwo-Olu, who is currently involved in a legal battle before the Supreme Court, should not have been the social partner of the CJN. He wondered how the Chief Justice, who he herself seems to be mingling with those engaged in ongoing legal proceedings, could demand so much impartiality from younger judges. According to his write-up on X, he says, I suspect someone would tell me Madam CJN's memory is wonky. If not, then how did she forget that the governor of Lagos State is a litigant before the Supreme Court, Nigeria? How can she call young judges? Now, Odinkalu did not stop there, considering the fact that most Nigerians have come up to respond to this statement. Some believe that it is because he has never been honored in his own time, in his own state. That's why he's castigating the CJN. And all believe that there's nothing wrong. At least this is the first female who had gone as far as being the CJN from Lagos, who has gone ahead to be the Chief Justice of Nigeria. But guess what? Chidi Odinkalu had to carry out a retrospect, going down the historical lane of the CJN, and pointed out that 3 persons have been CJN. Let me read exactly what he wrote after all the castigation that came to him. He said, President matters in matters of Judicial Code of Conduct. Kudirat Kekere Ekun is not the first CJN from Lagos State. In fact, Lagos has produced at least 4 former Chief Justice of Nigeria. I exclude Sir Adetukumbo Ademola, who lived in Lagos, that was an Egba prince. He went further to say, Professor Taslim Olawale Elias, who was CJN after Sir Adetukumbo until 1975, was a Lagos indigene. The governor of Lagos State, when he was appointed, was Mobolaji Johnson, a soldier, General Johnson, did not organize a reception to hail the appointment of Elias as CJN. In August 1978, General Obasanjo appointed Atanda Fatayi Williams as CJN. At the time, the military governor was Ebitu Ukwewe Fataye Williams that came from Ijebu land and his mom was from Lagos, and he grew up in and lived in Lagos. There was no Lagos reception for him or appointment. He went further to state that when Atanda Fatayi William retired in October 1983, he was succeeded by Judge Sodeyin Sowemimo, who was born in Zaria but became a judge of Lagos High Court in 1961. The governor, when Sowemimo became CJN, was Lateef Jakande. He did not organize any civic reception. The present CJN is the fourth from Lagos and the first for whom this thing is happening. Apparently, none of our distinguished predecessors knew how to do Uambe. In other words, none of them knew how to party. Is she the first that knows how to party? He went further to say, I do not set out to convince anyone. This is not a popularity test. Here is Rule 1.1 of the Judicial Code of Conduct that this CJN is responsible for enforcing. If in doubt, read the whole thing. Even CJNs don't have a right to be lawless. And this is what it writes. Rule 1 says propriety and the appearance of propriety, both professional and personal. He wrote proprieties, and that's Rule 1.1 wrote propriety and appearance of propriety, both professional and personal, are essential element of a judge's life. As member of the public expect a high standard of conduct from a judge. He or she must, when in doubt about attending an event or receiving a gift, however small, ask himself or herself the question, how might this look in the eyes of the public? That is the Rule 1. That's Rule 1.1 of the Judicial Code of Conduct. In other words, whatever gift that is extended to them, that before you receive that gift, ask yourself this major question. How might this look in the eyes of the public? Which means a judge, whether it is a young judge or a CJN, must take into cognizance all of these before making up his mind to attend any kind of reception or whatever, especially in the case where the person behind the grand reception is a litigant. That is exactly what Chidi Odinkalu is trying to point out. My colleague is in the house. One of the things I love about this professor is the fact that he didn't just allow it to, he didn't leave it there as though it was a way of, antagonizing the CJN, but went further to even dig into the history of other CJN who were from Lagos, who never allowed themselves to be given a grand reception like the one that was done to Kekere Ekun, and even pointed out what is provided for in the Judicial Code of Conduct, which is that the propriety must be careful in attending any form of occasion, and if he must receive a big or a small gift, needs to ask himself or herself this question: how does this look in the eyes of the public, considering the fact that impartiality is expected to be one of their key characteristics? What's your standpoint on all of this thing Odinkalu had said?
Well, how I wish as a person, and that is just my personal view now, how I wish we have the Odinkalus up to like 50 in Nigeria. A lot of things will never take place the way it's taking place now. Now, Odinkalu is saying this, and some Nigerians are antagonizing him because it's almost strange to see someone come very boldly against the judiciary, to the point that the likes of OCJ Okocha opened up and said, Odinkalu has the habit of always attacking the judiciary and judges simply because. And one thing Odinkalu used to respond to him was, thank God you didn't say I did something otherwise. Whatever it is I come against them is the fact that I want them to be upright. Now, if you listen to what he's saying, now if for whatever reasons Sanwo-Olu's case, because the case study was actually Sanwo-Olu, the Lagos State governor, if for whatever reason Sanwo-Olu's case decide to go in his favor, and there seem not to be enough evidence to marshal the fact that he deserves it. Everybody, just commonsensical people, will just say, he did the one bear, and the judiciary looked the other way. So, which means, if you have money for one bear, you can go to court. Me as I don't have money for one bear. Let me stay my day so that I will not have issues with you. So you now see that a precedents have been set, and that's exactly what Odinka is trying to say. It's not really for your sake, for the sake of the people watching you, for the sake of the lower judges, the new ones coming up. If our senior can do it, so our case is small now. We saw a guy dining with politician. After all, just like Kuntikbe will say, that the politicians and judges are two poles apart. They work on parallel, like opposite. Yes, they don't meet, because these ones are greedy. They need money. They're thinking of me, myself, and I. While the judges are moralists, they're thinking of the moral standing and the fact that the people must not suffer. Usually holding in rein and holding in check the politicians. Now, if they now begin to marry, then there's a problem. It's either one is shifting ground or the other one is gaining ground. So now, if one is shifting ground, that means from all what we are seeing in Nigeria, judiciary is shifting ground and the politicians are gaining ground. And that's what Ekekere is trying to say, that no more. Okekere is saying that no more, that she wants to ensure that people still believe in the rule of law and judiciary. But Odinkalu is saying, if you must do it, then start with yourself.
Exactly.
Start by those little things that you feel that is nothing. It has an image and it's giving a different vibe totally.
Wow, this is quite interesting, I must say. I don't have much to say here, but let me leave it to us. What was the standpoint? Because I love the fact that this was not just a sentimental delivery from Chidi Odinkalu, but was actually something that was provided for in the Judicial Code of Conduct. Wow, I don't know what the response will look like, but let's leave it there.